Street Fighter did put out this announcement. You're gonna need to dry off after this. Outfit 4, first of all, they know what they're doing. Whoever they got going, and I think I know who this is personally, whoever they have doing a lot of the Street Fighter Twitter social media and a lot of the character blog posts on the Steam page for the character releases, they're tapped in. Outfit 4 for these 7 characters are all swimsuits and are coming with the Sagat update on August 5th. Here's Cammy, Luke, Chun-Li, and Manon to whet your appetite. And they got the animations here, and tan lines and all. They're really limiting the amount of clothing the characters have. So Bikini Cammy with the utility belts, Luke with the fanny pack across the chest, lifeguard outfit. Does he have an axe though? Chun-Li, sun's out, buns out, accessories mapped out here. And there's Manon as well. And then I think that's it for this one. Then Jamie's in there, and Kimberly's matching the theme. And Aki as well. Aki looks straight up out of Resident Evil almost. Kind of giving a little bit of that horror nurse vibe a little bit. And then Zeku, Bushin on the back of the jacket. Zeku deconfirmed for Street Fighter 6. Of course, SK's in there. Can't control herself. So yeah, they're doing costumes, which, you know, cool. It seems a little bit of a pivot from Capcom. It seemed mostly they're going for a little bit more of a reserved outfits on most of the cast. They're getting back to their roots here a little bit with the bikinis and everything. But it's interesting that these are outfit 4 for these characters, and they're actually doing more costume updates. And the language is, I would say, mostly clear to me that these are the only outfit 4 characters. These are the only outfits we're getting with the update, instead of doing a full release for the entire cast, which I think is the proper move. Now, I don't know if they're implying that there's going to be more costumes coming out along with this update. I don't think there is. This is a non-exclusive statement. Outfit 4 for these 7 characters are all swimsuits and are coming with the Sagat update on August 5th. Technically, they could be saying the rest of the outfit 4s are not swimsuits, but they're also coming. But it sounds, I think the most likely reading of it is these are the costumes you're getting with the Sagat update, which is a break from the norm so far, which is 1 costume pack per 2 years for the entire cast. It seems like they're finally starting to just accelerate the release of the costumes and just focus on the greatest hits instead of trying to stall the release for the entire cast, which I think is the proper play. If you can't keep up the release cadence and just publish or put out costumes for the entire cast at a decent cadence, just start focusing on the popular characters and things that people will buy. I think that makes sense. I don't know why. The fact that I'm still annoyed at the greater Street Fighter community for, let me use another zoomer word here, for coping for Capcom. They were doing, there was a lot of cope. Oh my god, these costumes have so much fidelity. There's a million fibers and details that take years. It takes thousands and millions of man hours to produce a singular costume. Capcom is working so hard. Even if that were the case, that means that they chose to focus on the wrong thing. Fidelity was not what they should focus on in that case. Quality versus quantity is important, but if you maximize quality to the point where you have 0 quantity, then you have fucked up the balance at some point. So every time this was a topic of a discussion, there'd be so many people like, these spoiled gamers can't even play the same fighting game for 2 years straight. Back in my day, back in the arcades, we used to spend all of our quarters on the same game over and over, day in and day out, without complaining, until the next brand new variation of the game released on a brand new piece of hardware in a year or less. I don't know if they ever get the irony of that. The arcade era, you got updates far more often. They would literally ship entire new circuit boards to replace the old one, to give you a brand new version of the game. To act like modern gamers are actually expecting a lot more content updates relative to the 90s is actually just false, because they got, how many versions of Street Fighter 2 do they get, and how long of a time span? I think the solution also was, if the fidelity and the work pipeline they had to produce the costumes was too intensive, they just decided to take the easy route and just make less costume. We can't keep up with the demand. It takes so long to have the folds of the fabric and all the billions and billions of polygons it takes to make this vest look right. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. The model is complete. Put the least amount of fabric possible and get this out the door. That was the solution. So anyways, more costumes. Cool.